What is the only thing that really affects in our mind since our childhood and which gets instigated somehow or the other in our system? What is the only thing that creates a competition, but sometimes it can end up in some kind of destruction? Well, if you guys are confused, what is that particular thing? I would say that particular thing is called comparison. Comparison is there in each and everywhere. But do we really understand the reason behind comparison? Do we really try to mean when comparison is there and we are actually using that comparison to help someone? Well, do we really think about it in that manner? That comparison can help someone? Well, I think we don't. Most of the cases, comparison is there for two major reasons. Number one, creating a competition, and number two, evaluation. And how to evaluate? Setting up a benchmark. So the first thing which I said, that it actually creates a competition. Now, why there is a competition? We all know that somehow or the other we are in a race. We want to win and we want to outperform others so that we can stand out, or maybe as an individual we can stand out from the crowd so that people do understand, people do acknowledge our success. But do you really think that comparison can somehow or the other lead you towards success? Well, this is something that we need to understand. This is something that we need to absorb. Why? Because somehow or the other the competition can kill you. Why? Because competition needs not to be a healthy one all the time. That is absolutely right. There's a healthy competition. There should be a healthy competition whenever it comes to performance. But do we really experience that all the time? No, because each and every person is different. So we got to be very careful whenever we are using comparison. So we are comparing someone to someone, then we have to think about a lot of different aspects, because we don't know how the person is going to take it. Sometimes comparison is being taken as an insult, and it depends on the psyche of the person whom you are trying to help. So help is definitely a good intent, but till the time it's considered to be a help, not a criticism. Most of the people can't take criticism because they think the other person is somehow or the other dragging us down, which is not the fact. But on the contrary, somehow or the other, we have to understand that our mind works in a very typical way. And for that reason, we should not touch a nerve over there whenever we are comparing someone to someone. But yes, comparison should be intended as a competition, a healthy competition rather, where each and every person gets similar opportunities and each and every person gets to learn as well as to grow. And then we can try to compare and find out, okay, what actually worked out and what actually didn't work out for a particular person. It's not that comparison will ensure one person is successful, another one is not. No, it's not. It's just that create a competition so that your mind thinks that I have to somehow or the other perform and I should be on top when it comes to merit list, when it comes to success, when it comes to achieving goals, right? We all want to do that. Nobody wants to be number two unless the person thinks that, okay, let's give up on number one spot. See, number two spot is not bad, so as number three and so as other spots. But it's in our psyche. We want to be the best, but we don't understand the best term is a little bit vague. And number two, ensuring a proper evaluation. What is evaluation? By creating a benchmark. So what is that particular benchmark? See, when we are just coming up, remember those school days where people, relatives, teachers, maybe your parents, they used to provide some of the example just to let us know that, okay, you have to beat this particular person so that you can succeed. So it's creating a competition, but it's not a competition at all. It's setting a benchmark. Someone has scored 90, you have to score 91 probably. So that is nothing but setting a benchmark. But that benchmark is not a real thing. Why? Because that person can score 90 probably in each and every subject, but I cannot. And maybe that person is pretty good at studying because the person, maybe the passion lies in studying, but not for me, right? So I can't beat that particular person. I can't outperform that particular person because that person is passionate about one thing, which I'm not. But we do force others. Most of the cases we do force our children so that they can set up a benchmark and they should think, I have to outperform that. I have to score more. But that scoring system, well, I'm afraid it does not help most of the time. But still, since we are human beings, that somehow the other, that benchmark thing, that somehow the other envious thing gets generated in our mind. And we can't deny that particular fact that kills humanity inside. But we should be restricting ourselves from that. See, our brain doesn't function in a similar way for each and everyone. There is something called neuroelasticity. So neuroelasticity is not same for every person. And a lot of scientists have performed a lot of different tests on different people to understand about this particular concept of neuroelasticity. So they don't know, most of the people don't even understand what is neuroelasticity all about. Well, our body has that elasticity program or character somehow or the other. So that's the reason you can see that sometimes we force ourselves to do something. Sometimes we go against our mind to do something, right? So we have that power, but it's not easy to train your brain to function like that. So it's something that is pretty difficult to understand and difficult to apply, but it exists. So we have to consider that each and every person is different. So if I'm creating a competition, if I'm trying to set a benchmark, that should be realistic. And what is realistic benchmark? Considering each and every person's ability and creativity in that particular field.